Hello there guys, I've just unlocked this. Right, the way you get this car is to get to level 10 on the British Racing Green Horizon story. So that's the new one that was just released on the most recent update. As you can see, if I just pop in, if I go to solo, it says complete. But if I say select chapter, you'll see that I have 3 stars on every single one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to test drive this car. I've not driven it yet, I've just jumped into it. I'm going to look at the car mastery. I'm also probably going to explode the car and have a little look inside and all that kind of stuff. Then I'm just going to quickly go through each of these and give you some tips to get 3 stars on each one. Very, very easily. Well, actually, to be honest, a couple of them are quite difficult, but I'll tell you some tips that are going to enable you to do this. So, first of all, the car. Let's get rid of all this nonsense. Let's have a look at the car mastery. Ooh, there we go. So, it's got some credits, not a lot, 30,000. A couple of wheel spins that you probably won't want to pay for. This is going to be twice as fast, and this one is a 6 times multiplier. So not great, but a couple of nice little things in there for an old car. Right, so now the car itself, if I go to change car, we can have a look at the spec. So it's a rear-wheel drive. It's worth 1.5 million credits. It's a D-class, so it's quite slow. But it's also quite old, so it's 1931. So, there we go. It is absolutely beautiful. So, let's go to here and not pay to go there. So, I'm actually going to remember not to do the normal fast travel. So, in here, I'm going to explode the car so we can have a little look around it in Forza Vista. Then I'll teleport back to the British Racing Green start place, just so I can just scroll down through all of the, the different chapters and give you some tips. So let's explode it first of all. Isn't that beautiful? Let's get rid of this horrible UI. Look at that. Just look at that. Oh my goodness. That is an incredibly sexy car. I do love this engine. It's beautiful. That's quite unusual. Very strange shaped seats. Is that making room for the handbrake? And probably handbrake and gears, but who knows? So it could be all sorts of nonsense in here. So yeah, this way of opening doors is completely backwards. But I do think that, is it the RX-7, RX-8 or something, opens the opposite of this. So it's like opening like a barn door. Both of them open from the middle outwards. I think they should do that on cars. And I know that they kind of stopped doing this because if your door came open a little bit, the wind would catch it. So that's the kind of the reason that doors open the way they do now. But now they're quite secure, so that shouldn't happen. So yeah, they should change it back. I think doors should open, so they all open from the middle. So you've got like a big opening to the car. That'd be better. Look at the back seats. It looks like they've got little lights on them. So yeah, this is really beautiful. Let's jump in. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Let's get rid of this UI again. Isn't it beautiful? Very, very, very nice car. Let's bring this back up and see what we can... I can't press anything on this side, so I'll go back out. Ooh. I'll go around to the other side. I'll turn the lights on. Shall we? Shall we turn the lights on? Are you going to give the option to turn the lights on? Maybe not. Let's get inside here. And we'll have a listen to the engine. Oh, is the horn whatever one I've set? Is this going to be a police siren? Oh no, that's to change the horn. Okay, I thought it was just going to do the horn. I'm not convinced that that is the sound of this car. I don't think it sounds like that. I think it would be a bit more rattly. So, like a Messerschmitt. It's beautiful, isn't it? Right, let's get out. We'll implode. Go on, implode. I love that engine. Let's just have a little look under there. That's absolutely awesome. Can I bend down? No. So that's the car. I'm just going to drive it around for a little bit. And then I'll teleport back over to the start of the British Racing Green series. And first of all, I'll drive it around like this. Oh God, I'm on different controls. I've changed my controls so that I can do that. So yeah, I'm not used to this way of changing gear. As I expected, it's slow, but it's beautiful. So let's jump in here, change back my settings to what I'm used to, which is type 11. And also change my view, because now I don't have a change view button, to cockpit. Okay. Let's have a little bit of a drive around. Actually, how far away am I from that thing? Is it worth driving there? It's only there. Look, I'll drive to it. So that's it. There. So I'm going to drive there. That'll be a nice test drive for the car, and then we can chat about the chapters. Hello, people. Oh shit, I'm in reverse. How did that happen? I should have got changed, shouldn't I, into something more appropriate for this beautiful old machine. I don't think my little gold shorts and my blue leather jacket are really fitting for the class of this vehicle. It's very big. I feel like I'm really high up.
In 400 yards.
As expected, there's only 4 gears. Just do a little, oh, I don't want to bang it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ah, oh, that was a shame. 1931. My house that I lived in England was built at the same time as this car. It was actually, no, it was built in 1929, actually. But yeah, so a tiny bit older than this car. But yeah, so the house is still standing, still doing well. Doesn't really look that aged. I mean, this car looks immaculate. So actually, it's a lot better condition than my old house. But it's a tiny bit younger, just a couple of years. Be careful with my car. Whoa. Oh, look at that, Mogwai. Mogwai 83. Little gizmo up ahead. Hello, Mogwai. Don't drive into the lake. All hell will break loose if Mogwai drives into the lake. Gremlins will be jumping out of its back.
Turn left.
Little Mogwai. Oh, go on, get round the corner. Right, this is going to take a little bit longer than I expected. Yeah, what a thing of beauty. Look at all those dials. I wonder what they all mean. It's like being in an aeroplane. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Oh, we got a speed zone. Now that's pretty handy because that means I can just drive straight through this van. Way! Like a ghost. I'm not going to break the speed record, but I don't have to worry about bumping into anybody and scratching my beautiful car. Okay, almost there. There we go. Right, I'm just going to pop in here, and I'm going to give you, excuse me, I'm going to pop in here and give you some tips. So let's have a look at each one, and we can have a chat about them all. Right, so on every single one of these, they're all in 2 stages. And the first stage doesn't matter at all. Only the second stage matters. Now, the way that you get 3 stars on all of them is to cheat. And it's very easy to cheat. But I will say, the girl that talks, she tells you some quite interesting stuff. But what she tells you is triggered at certain places on the track. Now, if you're cheating, you're going to miss out those places and you're going to miss out on some of the story. So if you cheat to get all of the stars like this, what you should do is go back and drive the proper tracks as intended as well, and then you'll get all the story, and she'll tell you all the history about the cars. It's quite interesting. So what's this one? This is British Racing Green. It's document blah, 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 blah. I can't remember what this one is. So this one starts off with the Aston Martin, where she's sitting in the car with you, and then when you get somewhere and you do some sort of drive with her, I can't remember what that drive is, but it's one of the ones where you've got to be under 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Remember, it's only the second part that counts. Now, on almost all of these, you are driving a track from A to B, and there's a blue line on the map. So immediately when it starts, hit start and look at the map, and you'll see where you've got to get to. What you can do is just drive directly to the finish line. You don't have to follow the blue line. There are no checkpoints. Now, on some of them, when you go off the road, a counter starts from 10 down to 0. And if it hits 0, then you have to start again. You've got to retry it. So on those ones, you do have to go on a bit of road every now and again to reset that 10-second counter. But on some of the other ones, that doesn't matter at all. Just drive straight to the finish line. Don't worry about the track whatsoever. So the first one, I can't remember what the first one is, but anyway, it's going to be something like that. But the first one, as I recall, was very, very easy. I think I got 3 stars on that one immediately before I went back and then did the cheating. So moving on to this one. This is the Land Rover. The Land Rover, it drives there really bloody slow, but you can just go in a dead straight line for the first part of this and you get there a little bit faster. Of course, the first part doesn't really matter. Now, this Land Rover 3 Series, my uncle used to have one of these. Now, he lived in Wales when I was a child. He lived in Llandudno. So all of my holidays growing up was to his house. So we used to go to the Real Sun Centre, if anyone knows that. That was so awesome, doing the surfing and everything. It was just spectacular. I loved the Real Sun Centre. But whilst we were in Wales, we used to all get into his Land Rover 3 Series. And he would drive up the steepest hills and he'd just go through brooks and down, it was just incredible, absolutely incredible. What he did, it didn't look like it would make it. It always looked like we were going to get stuck, but we never did, and it was amazing. But his Land Rover had a big rusty hole in the back, and you could actually see the wheel spinning around. And we're all kind of little kids, me, my brother and my sister, bouncing around in the back of that Land Rover. And did I call it a Range Rover a minute ago? It was definitely a Land Rover. We were bouncing around in the back, and you could actually see the wheel. So it was quite dangerous, but it was a hell of a lot of fun. So yeah, that was, my uncle lived there for many years when I was a child, and he now has moved to North America. He now lives in North Carolina. So dealing with all those ridiculous hurricanes over the past few months. But yeah, my holidays to Wales as a child were incredible. Real Sun Centre, some serious memories going on in there, but this Land Rover was a lot of fun. So anyway, once you've done with the Land Rover, you get to some SUV thing. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, it's some modern SUV. And you have to drive it around the quarry. Now, you've got to get 125,000 points on this. What I recommend that you do is pick a straight line that goes along the quarry so that you do a lot of bouncing up and down, but don't go down into the middle section. So what you're going to do, you're going to drive along that straight line and keep drifting left and right, smacking through the fences, and as you go along the line and you bounce, you get kangaroo bonuses. They're worth a lot of points. When you get to the end, do a handbrake turn, and then come back and do the same, and just keep doing that for the entire time, and you will easily, blast way more than 125,000 points. But if you drive slow and you just try and crash through a couple of fences and things like this, you're not going to make it. You really want to get a big long line and do the kangaroo bonus. Now, I think that's the one that a lot of people are going to struggle with. So once I've gone through them all, I'm going to actually do that one on this video to show you exactly what I mean. This one is not easy. The original Lotus, just drive to the point. Of course, the first section doesn't matter. The second section, it's bloody difficult because there's not many shortcuts you can take. The actual route they give you is almost the shortest route possible. Now, what I strongly recommend you do here is make sure you remember the time that you need to get 3 stars. So in this one, 1:37. So have that in your mind when you're doing the race. If you're not going to make it, then just click start and click, when you get into the menu screen, click on restart event. And that's going to put you back at the beginning of the second part rather than you having to do all the first bit again. So the first bit, of course, as long as you get there in the allocated time, that has no bearing on your stars. So just bear that in mind. On this one, remember, it's got to be 1:37 or less. And in fact, when I did this, I thought it was 1:34. So I was resetting if I was over 1:34. So I could have got 3 stars easier than I did. But the way I did this one, I did almost all of the race as it shows you on the map. It's a road race, but there's a couple of corners that you can cut and you can go through the trees. Now, I have rewind on, and what I was doing is when I got to one of the corners, I just drove straight through the trees. I crashed into the trees. There are a lot of trees. It's a very thick forest. But I just rewound then and just adjusted a tiny bit until I got a dead straight line as fast as possible through the trees back onto the track on the other side. Now, on this particular one, there is a left-hand bend, and that's the only place where I cut through the trees. I didn't have to cut through anywhere else. I just used the road. But I tried only using the road, and I couldn't make it. But I was trying to get a 134. Now, also on this one, when I first did it, it was raining. And then when I reset, it wasn't raining, but the roads were wet. So if it's raining, it's much more difficult. So if that happens, just go Start Menu, Reset. It'll put you back at the beginning of the second half of the chapter, and then you can do it again. But yeah, that is probably the most difficult one. I mean, if you have trouble getting skill points, this one's hard. But this one, it's an absolute bitch, because the route that it wants you to take, there aren't many shortcuts you can do. Right, this one is really, really, really easy. You've got to get under 50 seconds to get the 3 stars. On this one, you're supposed to be racing on the dirt track, and if you go off the dirt track, it counts down from 10. So all you've got to do is make sure that you clip the dirt track at least every 10 seconds. So when this one opens up, you immediately go towards the right, go down the hill, clip the track, and then just go for the finish line. Now, of course, as with all of them, the first half doesn't matter, but it's the same track on the first and the second half with this one. You're just in a faster, more modern car on the second bit. Now, if you look at the leaderboards, the person in first place on this one did this in 3.9 seconds, okay? That's insane. So obviously, they just went straight to the finish line. So you can probably do that too. If you don't get there fast enough, if you don't get there in a minute, you'll reset. If you go off the track for more than 10 seconds and the counter goes down, it'll reset. But if you haven't been under 50 seconds, then reset it yourself. As I say, hit start, reset, and just go again. Otherwise, you've just got to drive all the way to the car park and then do the first round again, then the second round. So next one. Oh, this is a piece of piss. You've got to get faster than 43 miles an hour. Just drive down the hill. It's very, very easy. I am using manual and no clutch. I assume if you're using automatic, it might be difficult. But in manual, just redline it. It's absolutely ridiculously easy. You'll get it the first time. Okay, the next one. This one as well, I got this my first time round. I didn't have to cheat on this. Just drive fast and you'll get there. But if you have any trouble, just cut some of the track. So just go across the grass, cut some of the track. But this one is quite easy to do the way that it's actually asking you to do. It's a really nice car as well. She also says that this McLaren F1 has gold lining in the engine bay. Now, I'm going to go into Forza Vista and check that because I want to see if they've put that in the game. Has the McLaren F1 got gold lining? I'm going to have a look in a bit. I'd be interested to see. In fact, I don't think I've got one, so I can't have a look. But yeah, I want to see if the engine is gold in Forza Vista when I open the car. But yeah, that one is easy to do, very easy to do. Aftermarket excellence. Lotus never let... Oh, this one... In fact, the first half of this one in the Talbot Sunbeam, just keep to the road. When you get to the roundabout, don't go around the roundabout, just go to the right instead and cut the roundabout out, and you'll be able to get there in time. But if you try and cut on the grass in the Sunbeam on the first half, you run out of time. It gives you 1 minute 35 seconds, and if you're cutting across grass, you slow down, it's quite tight. So just stick on the road for the first half, cut the roundabout out, and then obviously you'll get into the Carlton, and it's the Carlton where the time matters. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Now this is an off-road track that goes kind of like up a mountain. Well, it's not up a mountain, it's kind of like over the top of one and then down a mountain. So there's a lot of like staircase, going left, hairpin turn, going right, hairpin turn, going left, doing that. Just drive a straight line. You're going to get there in just a few seconds. It's ridiculously easy. So that is one of the easiest ones to get 3 stars. Next, oh, I love this car. I love the E-Type Jag, but I also love the new D-Type Jag. And there is someone who used to live near me where I lived in England who had an original D-Type. It was British Racing Green, funnily enough, and very appropriate for this video. And it had that fin on the back behind the driver's seat, and it was absolutely beautiful. I also know, well, I don't know them, but I know where they live because I used to cycle past that house very regularly, and they've got an E-Type Jag, and it's a red one, just like in the game with the wire tyres. Now, I've mentioned this before, it is a beautiful car, beautiful. The D-Type as well is absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is the new D-Type, which is called the F-Type. So it's kind of like a modern look on the D-Type. I don't like the paint job. It's got a funny line that goes across the bonnet in the wrong direction, and it kind of just looks weird. So yeah, I'm going to be downloading a new design on that car, but it's a very nice car. It's lovely to drive. Now, you've got to get to the end line in 1:35. You're driving down the motorway. All you've got to do is redline it. When you get up to 6th gear, don't change up to 7th. Keep it in 6th. If you change up to 7th or anything like that, you're going to lose a little bit of power and you'll drop down a bit. And it's tight, this is. So you've really got to cut the motorway as much as possible. Obviously, make sure nobody gets in your way. But there is a roundabout. Now, go, obviously, straight over on the roundabout. If you go straight across the middle, it kind of messes up your car a little bit and you lose a bit of speed and you don't make it. So you just want to move over to the left just a tad. And then when you jump the roundabout, you kind of land a little bit more level and you maintain your speed to get to the end. So remember, it's 1:35. And, I mean, you've got to jump that roundabout really well and land good. If you don't land good and you start to slow down, just hit the rewind button, do the jump again, and just kind of just adjust it a little bit until you land and maintain your speed, because it's tight. Seriously, this one's tight. Now, as with all of them, as I said before, as soon as you have got into the second part of the chapter, make sure you look at what the requirement is for the 3 stars. What the hell was that? Was that someone crashing into my car? Outrageous. So yeah, look at the requirement for 3 stars, and if it looks like you're not going to make it, hit the start button, and then rewind and, restart, and it will just start from the second half of that chapter, so you don't have to do it again. Right, so that's how you do them all. What I'm going to do now is jump in the utility vehicle, because I think this is the one that people are going to have the most difficulty on. Now, the Lotus one as well, that is a struggle. Believe me, it's tight, but I was trying to get 134, so maybe I could have made it easier than I did. But, I mean, all I could show you on that is cut through the trees, and if you hit a tree, rewind, adjust a tiny bit, and cut through the tree again. And try and get a line where you don't lose any speed. I mean, I think quite a few of these just are not possible to get 3 stars if you go, you know, the actual route that they are suggesting. It just wouldn't be possible. So you have to cheat. You have to cut the track. So let's pop up to the utility vehicle one, and I'll show you how to get 125,000 points. So yeah, I do love this Series 3 Land Rover. It's a shame that it's so bloody slow, but of course you can upload. Oh, hang on.
At least at first. The next segment is about Land Rover, and we'll be starting out with the Type 3.
Okay, I'm sorry about the echo there. When she speaks... Oh, I've got to drive, haven't I? When she speaks, it's coming out of my TV, and I get an echo through the microphone, so I'll just turn her down whenever she's talking. Right, on this one, we look at the map. I mean, I could, if I wanted to, just go in a dead straight line to there, okay? Very, very simple to do. Oh, the Mini, the one with the Mini, that also is around this kind of area. I absolutely love that little Mini. Did I not mention the Mini one? I must have skipped that. But yeah, the original Mini Cooper is beautiful to drive, absolutely beautiful. But when you get to the second part of that one, it's a track that goes around here. And the blue line looks like it's almost the most direct route. You can kind of skip across a little bit here, and then it looks like the most direct route. But if you take that, you can't make it. There's not enough time. But what you do is just go straight through the forest, and then when you hit a different dirt track, Anna recalculates the route, and you end up back on the route. So your 10-second timer resets again. So when you're on that one, the one with the Mini to begin with, on that one, just look where the end line is on the map, and then just try and drive straight through the trees towards the end line, and keep an eye out for those roads, the little dotty red ones, these ones. And if you clip one of those, your 10-second timer will reset. But if you don't clip a road, then the 10-second timer expires and it starts again. But yeah, on that particular one, I mean, don't try, I mean, what you would do, if it was this one, what you would do from here, you'd go up here and then straight across there to cut out this piece. But, I mean, it doesn't give you a track where you can keep getting on the blue. It gives you a track, the blue line, let me think, I think it's here actually. I think you start maybe around here and go that way around. So see this red line here? You come from here and you can, I think, I'm not 100%, but you can come across and hit this road. Now it wants you to be on this one, but as soon as you hit that one, Anna recalculates, and then you can drive on this one up here, and I think you have to get somewhere up there, but I'm not sure. But yeah, you don't, it wants you to go down here into the quarry, and that really slows you down. But when you come along here instead, it recalculates a route, you can drive that route, and then it's much, much easier to reach the end point. So that's the one with the Mini. I'm not sure how I missed that one out, but yeah, that's the Mini one. So let's do this. I'm going to go this way. Whoops. Ah, shit. So where is it? There it is, look. 3.9 miles away. Over there. So I'm just going to drive in an almost straight line. I mean, I've got 5 minutes, and you do make it there in 5 minutes, but this vehicle is so bloody slow that if I drive the normal road, it's going to take me 5 minutes, so I'm just going to drive in a straight line, and hopefully we'll get there in about 2.5 minutes. I hope there's not like a lake in the way. Now, because I'm driving straight across this and not going along the intended track, I'm not hearing the story about the Land Rover 3 Series. She would be telling me about how it's been used as an ambulance and all of that kind of stuff. You see how it's recalculated the route now. Now, if it was one of the ones where I have to get back in the road in 10 seconds, the recalculated route is sufficient for that. So do bear that in mind. The only one where that really applies, as I said, is the one where you're in the Mini Cooper S to begin with, and then you're in the Clubman thing. I don't really like that vehicle at all. My friend used to have one. They're enormous, aren't they? I've had a real Mini, and I love them. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again for people that have not heard it. When I had my Mini, just a bog standard one, it wasn't a Cooper, I used to drive it. I had a very, very loud speaker system in that car. I used to drive it with my windows all the way down, and on my stereo, I had a CD that had sound effects. And one of the sound effects was a car skidding around a corner. So, you know, screeching brakes, sounds like it's going ridiculously fast. So I used to drive it really, really slowly around a corner when there were pedestrians walking alongside the pavement next to where I was driving. With the windows open, that CD blast, go on, make it up the hill. You're a bloody Land Rover, you can make it up the hill. Go on. So yeah, I used to drive it past people around really sharp corners with that on the stereo, blasting out really, really loud. And I used to have my seat all the way forward, and I'd be sitting upright with my nose almost touching the windscreen, and I would be shuffling my steering wheel like somebody on their first driving lesson, going about 2 miles an hour. It's just, so I don't know why I did it, I just found it funny. But yeah, I used to do that so often, with my friends in the car as well, driving past pedestrians with a car going, just coming out of the speakers. And people used to jump out of the way, and then they would look, and their jaws had just dropped to the floor when they saw my tiny little Mini. It was called Button Wheels. It was an orange Mini. When they saw it driving around the corner at ridiculously slow speed, but making this hideous screeching noise like a rally car. So just before I jump into this, got another story about my Mini that I'm going to quickly share with you. I did have the cone from a very big bass speaker from from when I was a DJ. So I'd taken the center out of the speaker with a huge magnet on it, and we took off the roof lining of the car. So there was just the bare metal of the car, and then we used the magnet of the speaker to stick the magnet to the roof of the car. And I was driving in the car, and we'd only just done it. It's not like it was there permanently. The car was a mess, as you can imagine. If you don't mind ripping the roof lining off your car, you can imagine what state it's in for that to not bother you. But yeah, so I start driving with this huge cone speaker, stuck to the roof of the car. My friend Craig was in the back seat, and as soon as I went round a corner, the speaker fell off, and it hit his knee. very heavy and very sharp, and he really wasn't a happy bunny. But he had a lot of fun in that car. It was an absolute mess. It was usually full of McDonald's wrappers and things like that. It broke down one day and I just left it at the side of the road, and the police found it and thought it was an abandoned vehicle. So yeah, it was a mess. It was a big mess, but a hell of a lot of fun. If you've never had a Mini, I strongly recommend that you give one a try. They're awesome to drive.
Along with the Range Rover, others would follow. Discovery, Defender, and the Freelander. Each a more sophisticated and enjoyable utility vehicle. But none of them were a replacement for the Type 3.
They certainly were not. Yeah, the 3 Series Land Rover is definitely my favourite. They are so nice compared to everything that came afterwards.
The Type 3
I'm not very keen on this thing.
The first sports utility vehicle, an evolution of the design that would lead ultimately to this. The Bowler Nemesis, an off-road racing vehicle that turned into
Come
a
on,
production
woman.
SUV, the Nemesis EXR.
Okay, here we go. Right, this is much easier. Shut up. Right, this is much easier if you change your view. So, oops, didn't mean to go in there. So yeah, if I've got to do it here because I haven't got a button. But if I'm going to go on far chase, it's much easier to get the skill chain up when you can see things around you. And when you're in cockpit view, that's not quite so easy. And I'm in manual gears. I can't change to automatic, but I think I'd probably be on automatic for this as well. So anyway, let's continue.
Sports a turbocharged.
Oh, and also bear in mind, my timer is ticking down while she is talking. So as soon as you get to this bit, start straight away. Don't wait and listen to her story. Just start driving immediately. As I said, what we're going to do is we're just going to drive in a straight line, and we're going to try and bounce as much as possible, but we're not going to go down into the deep pit. We don't want to spend too much time in the air or anything like that. We'll do a few drifts. We're going to go through some fences. Once we've got to the end of our line, we'll turn around with a handbrake, and then we'll come back, and we'll just keep doing that. So we want to not lose the skill chain. So here goes. And I'm going to go this way over here. Oh, I forgot I'm not in automatic, am I? I normally do this kind of stuff in automatic.
Grille, headlights, and rear lights from a Range Rover.
So this bit, yeah, she shouldn't now. This bit along here is going to be best because I'm not going to bounce too much, but you'll see that I get kangaroos. That's what I'm after. I'm after the kangaroos. Drift and then just go back again, do it again. Oh, shit. I lost the skill chain. Never mind. I still think I'll be fine, but look here. This is actually nicer. You want the car bouncing. When the car starts to like this, you're going to get kangaroo bonuses, and that's where you get the points. Drift, don't hit anything. Oh, shit. I'll tell you what, I'm going to restart it. Now, the good thing about this restart is it doesn't go to the first half of the chapter. It just restarts on this bit. We've got to listen to her again.
It sports a turbocharged 5-litre Land Rover Jaguar engine, crammed into a carbon fibre chassis with integral roll cage. It even has the grille, headlights and rear lights from a Range Rover.
Okay. Right, I'm going to get down here a little bit, but not too much. And I kind of want to get to a place where it bounces a lot. Oh, I've missed it. If you notice that the skill chain starts to drop, then immediately do a drift. Otherwise, it's just going to stop. And if it stops, it messes you up. I'm not in the right place. Let's try along here a little bit. I don't want to go down into that. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I'm messing this up a treat. I really didn't want to come down here. That's going to add up now. I want to get back up.
Type 3 would be like if it ever stopped doing important things.
Sorry about this, guys. I was expecting to get this straight away for you. I'm completely off my line. If you hit them, your skill chain stops, so avoid those. Ah, this is better, look. These little bounces on this stuff. Kangaroos. Okay? They are worth 1,000 points each. J-turns and handbrake turns are good for keeping it going. Oh, fuck.
And a 415-litre racing fuel cell allows the Nemesis
I'm probably
to
still
take
going to be
on
able to
the
do it.
longest Dakar stages.
But yeah, you want to do some of this bouncing. I mean, you can see the idea, but I'm making a complete pig's ear of it. I've got a few seconds left. So what am I going to get? I'm going to have to restart because that's not going to be 125. Hopefully I should get it the first time this time. Sorry about this, guys. I should have made a mental note of specifically the line where you can keep getting the kangaroos, and I could have just showed you straight off. I'll go a little...
Turbocharged 5-litre Land Rover Jaguar engine, crammed into a carbon fibre chassis with integral roll cage. It even has the grille, headlights and rear lights from a Range Rover.
Sorry about that. I can't talk when she's talking. And I do know that you've got a horrible echo, so I do apologise about the echo. You don't want to come down here, that was a big mistake. Well, I'm ballsing this up quite badly. Oh, I really want to go down here. But you keep an eye on your skill chain at the top, then you'll know kind of how many have got to catch up. If you think I've just done a 180 and it's saying at the top awesome 180, then you know that you've got to do something else quick. So watch when that says 180, ultimate 180, see? So I know, there's nothing else. I've got to do something before it runs out. But yeah, if you can get a place where you're just bouncing around a little bit. Got to do another drift, otherwise it's going to take it away. You've got a place where you're doing a little bit of bouncing around, and preferably a few of these... Oh shit, I'm in a shit gear.
A fully independent suspension design.
No.
And a 415-litre racing fuel cell
Well, I'm gonna...
allows the Nemesis to take on the longest Dakar stages.
So I can't talk when she's talking, you won't hear me. Oh dear! You don't want to do that. Right, that's not enough. What I'm going to do, I didn't expect for this to take longer than just one run. I did it in one run when I did it for myself. But I'm going to keep doing it until I get the 125 for you, and then you can see the line that I'm taking, where I'm getting all those kangaroo bonuses, because that usually is what wins it. And then you can just follow that line so that you don't have to go through all of this pain. Here she comes. Tell you about the car.
It sports a turbocharged 5-litre Land Rover Jaguar engine, crammed into a carbon fibre chassis with integral roll cage. It even has the grille, headlights and rear lights from a Range Rover.
Now this bit looks good up here. I don't know if you noticed there, but coming over this, watch all this bouncing over this, look. See? Easy to control, lots of bouncing, crash lands, air, kangaroo bonus, a wall I can go through, do a handbrake turn, turn around, and then just do it again. So keep your eye on it though, because you don't want it to run out. Look at that. Oh, I'm in second gear. I was paying no attention at all. I was just watching the thing at the top. So yeah, this is where you want to be. So come along here. Sorry about all that messing about there, but you can see how easy I'm getting up on this one. Stay away from that little building, that's going to kill your skill chain. So just go along. Keep an eye on what it's rewarding you for. Don't want to hit that, that will kill me. And make sure you're going to do something. If you have to, do a drift. So now we've got the necessary amount of points that we need. Might as well just carry on for a bit, eh? If I drop my skill chain now, I'll be most annoyed. But yeah, this is the area, guys. You just want to get over here. Make sure you don't hit that thing and don't hit the house, and you'll be good. And you'll be able to get 125 very, very, very easily. So I'm going to carry on doing this until the time runs out, and we'll see. We'll see two things. First of all, we're going to say, I'm not going to stop. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. So we'll see if it gives you the points without you having to bank them. So that's something you need to know. Yes, it did.
That's the only fair description for this. But that's what you get when you build an SUV with Land Rover DNA.
The other thing I want to check is where I am on the leaderboard. So let's see where I am ranked compared to other people. So there you go, look. I am 4,423 in the world. So let's have a look what the top person got. 327,000 points. So what did I get? Where am I? I got 220. So that's how you do it. Just get onto that bit and just bounce along there. Really, really easy. I am sorry about all the times I messed it up, but this is the one that I really, really wanted to show you. When I did it myself, I didn't do that exact line, but I got a line where it gave me the points, you know, straight away. I didn't have to mess around like I just did for you guys. But I hope that this video helps you to get 3 stars on every one of these. As I say, the Lotus one is difficult. When you're doing that one, there is a corner what bends to the left, and you need to cut through the trees. And just keep rewinding until you get a line through the trees where you can maintain your speed, but it is a bitch. But apart from that, all of the others are pretty much a no-brainer. You just got to, you know, take the fastest line that you can by taking a shortcut. So there we go. I hope this has been very helpful for you guys and that you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, please leave a like, and as always, I'll see you all soon. You take care. Have an awesome evening. Bye-bye.